In sickness and in health, the UConn women's basketball team continues to be married to one of the all-time great win streaks in college sports. Despite a fever running through the team the past couple of days, number one UConn went on the road in a top 5 matchup and did what it does best: win. UConn, an 87-81 victory over the number 4 team in the country, the Maryland Terrapins, here on the floor of the XFINITY Center in College Park, Maryland. The winning streak now at 87 games, 3 away from tying its own record that it set between 2008 and 2011, a 90-game win streak. But number 87 was not easy to get here in this charged atmosphere in College Park, even without the students being here on campus. Late in the first half, this game was tied at 27 before UConn went on a 9-0 run to take a 36-27 lead. The lead for UConn at halftime was 5. After 3 minutes in the third quarter, that lead was 19 as the Huskies started the third quarter on a 14-0 run. But you have to give the Terrapins credit. They did not quit. And as a matter of fact, a couple of times in that fourth quarter, they cut UConn's lead to a 2-possession game, but Maryland not able to get over the hump. UConn able to see off the Maryland Terrapins to extend their winning streak to 87 games. And probably the sickest of all of the players for the UConn Huskies, Katie Lou Samuelson, she led the team in scoring with 23 points. And after the game, I got a chance to talk with one of the other UConn Huskies in double figures in scoring, Kia Nurse. She hit both three-pointers to spark those 2 game-changing runs. And I asked her to begin our conversation in a charged atmosphere, in a top 5 matchup with the streak on the line. Can you allow yourself to have some fun while playing in this game?
Absolutely. I think that's the only way you can do it. And coming into a big game like this with an atmosphere that you knew was going to be fired up, was going to be a great time, if you have fun with it, and that's something that we told the team to do beforehand, we knew that we were going to play well.
You hit 2 three-pointers that started big runs for you. One right before the end of the first half when it was tied at 27. You got a 4-point play, and then you hit the three-pointer that started the 14-0 run in the second half. When you hit shots like that, can you feel a run coming for the team, or it just so happens that you hit the 3 that started the big run?
It definitely kind of feels like a run. We understand that it's not generally how many shots you make in a game, but it's when you make the shots. And for us, when we can get on rolls like that, when we can get on runs and extend leads, that's when we're at our best.
The lead grew to 50-31, and Coach Auriemma mentioned in the postgame press conference that when the lead was 19, he had a feeling that it might go down considerably. Did you feel as if Maryland was going to make a run and be able to cut it to a 2-possession game a couple of times that they did?
Obviously, we understood they were going to make a run. I mean, every team does in that sense, and they were a really good basketball team, so we knew that they were going to have their run. We probably should have shortened that a little bit and not let it get that far down, but I think we did a good job of responding.
Why weren't you able to stunt that run a little bit?
They did a good job of getting out in transition. They, score or miss. They got up the floor quickly, scored a lot of secondary points, and then we were just a little off on defense for a second there.
Oh, just for a second?
For a second. We got it back together.
Did Coach Auriemma mention that the defense was off for a little second? And
there was a couple mishaps that we talked about, but things that we can easily fix next time.
How important was it to have the international Olympic experience with Team Canada?
I mean, it's been huge for me. It's a confidence booster, but at the same time, playing against the best players in the world is something that is priceless. It's something that I've learned a lot from. And, playing in big games, playing in big Olympic games, and then you come here, you play in a big game, you're kind of used to it. And it helps with your confidence. It helps relax you before you start the game.
Being a hammer, all right, did you grow up liking hockey like basketball? Because basketball is becoming not necessarily a national pastime in Canada, but much more popular in the Great White North.
I wasn't a big hockey person. I did skate, I played soccer, and basketball was something my sister did and my family coach, so that was kind of the big thing for me. But now the rise of basketball in Canada has been incredible. The players that are coming out, the great performances that we had at the Olympics and the Pan Ams, and having all that combined has been a great rise for Canada, and it can only go up from here.
What does 87 mean to you, 87-game winning streak? What does that mean to you? I know you've been a part of this streak for a little while. What does that mean to you, if anything?
Yeah, not much.
Not much?
Not much.
Why not?
I would say we don't really focus on streaks. We don't focus on national championships. We focus on what's in front of us each and every day. And we'd be the first to tell you that we never know streaks until the media tells us. So when this one started, we didn't really know about it until like 60-ish they started talking about it. We just go out there every game and play, not with a worry on our mind about it.
So not being a big hockey fan growing up in '87, if I mentioned Sidney Crosby, that would just fall on deaf ears.
Crosby. My brother plays in the NHL, so I know all the big names.
Okay, yes, all right, Kia, thank you so very much for the time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For the Maryland Terrapins, there are no moral victories as the sports aphorism goes, but a lot of positives to take away for Maryland, even in defeat. Their star inside, Brianna Jones, 19 points, 13 rebounds in this contest, despite the fact that she played almost the entirety of this game in severe foul trouble. But the biggest star for the Maryland Terrapins, and probably the biggest star in this game, despite what uniform she was wearing, guard Destiny Slocum, the freshman out of the Gem State of Idaho, 23 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 3-pointers made on 10 3-point attempts. You do not see those numbers put up by an opponent against the UConn Huskies, let alone a freshman. So the future bright for the Maryland Terrapins. So is their present, but presently, the UConn Huskies, the king of the hill in women's college basketball, UConn with an 87-81 win over the Maryland Terrapins here tonight. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALotofSportsTalk.com. Our weekly NHL notebook will debut with the Atlantic Division this week. Our Emna Ashur writes about the happenings in the Atlantic Division, and in a couple of weeks' time, we will be live at an NFL city covering the divisional playoff round in the 2016 NFL playoffs. So stay tuned for that. So once again, our final score: the homestanding Maryland Terrapins 81, the UConn Huskies 87, the win streak for the Huskies 87. From the XFINITY Center in College Park, Maryland, my name is Adesina Koiki for ALotofSportsTalk.com.